Welcome back, Saints Stuff fans. I'm your host, Wes Brown. Today we'd like to discuss some recent Saints news and Saints rumor report and things that have been going around the NFL and break down some of these and what that means for the New Orleans Saints. Last week we discussed what records could the New Orleans Saints break and how many records could the New Orleans Saints hold by the end of the year. So let's talk about some of the recent news that's been going on for the New Orleans Saints. First off, Michael Thomas, his injury, his surgery that he just recently got, I think he got it sometime in June. It was a surgery to fix some of the ligaments in his ankle and foot. So Sean Payton has recently commented saying that they probably should have gotten that surgery a little sooner, to be honest, and Michael Thomas will most definitely miss the first few games of the season, if not the first half of the season, honestly. So, because he has a 3 to 4 month timetable of recovery for that injury, for that surgery. I'm here to say that I've actually gotten that pretty much very similar surgery. It didn't take me 4 months, however. He's an elite football athlete with the biggest, strongest people in the world tackling him. So, honestly, it'll be up in the air whether or not how soon Michael Thomas can come back. Especially that hurts us because we already have a very depleted wide receiver group. So that bit of information, that bit of news is obviously not very positive on a positive note. Then we have some other issues of suspensions and stuff like that. David Onyemata has been suspended for 6 games, I believe, for violating some performance-enhancing drug or something like that. So basically, we now have depth D-line issues as well. We had David Onyemata returning as pretty much our solid D tackle. He's no longer going to be there for several games of the beginning of the season. Then just recently we had Marshon Lattimore, who possibly got into some legal trouble of his own and is facing a possible suspension, although that timetable has not come out yet. So really, that means now our corners are being affected, and then last but not least, Deontay Harris today, our wide receiver, our speed receiver and return man, he most recently just had got in trouble with a DUI, and so he will be suspended for 2 games as well. So we're definitely going into week 1. I believe that's against the Packers. A little banged up already, a little without our full force at hand. We won't have the same athletes that we faced against the Packers last season, so that's for sure. So that's what I wanted to bring today to this video, is what issues do we have going into week 1? Where are we? I know this offseason has been pretty crazy, a lot of rule changes, a lot of player development. What is our major issues and where are we at moving forward? And then last but not least, there was one rumor that keeps coming up. Oh, there's a couple of signings that the Saints have had. Saints signed Brian Poole from the Jets. He's a corner. He's actually mainly a slot corner. He's very good in the slot. In fact, the Jets tried him as the corner number 2 on the outside, and that was a mistake. He was not very good there. He doesn't handle the outside very well, but he roams the field side to side very well. So he lacks the... To me, my opinion, he lacks the ability to really turn and run with those speed receivers unless he has safety help over the top. If that's the case, then he does fine. If he has safety help, he does good. But in the middle of the field, where he's running between the linebackers, in front of the safeties, that's where he excels, and that's where Chauncey Gardner-Johnson excels. So, it's never a bad thing to have talent on the roster and backups if necessary. But I'm wondering how that's going to affect Brian Poole and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, since they play a very similar role for a nickel defense, really. So I'm interested to see how that turns out for us. And then last but not least, also, there's been a lot of rumors about Xavier Howard from the Miami Dolphins. He's an elite corner over there, young, talented, all-pro receiver over there, all-pro corner over there, and he just recently requested a trade. There's been rumors that there's already teams asking what the asking price is, what they would need to trade in order to bring him in, and the asking price, I believe, is only 1 first-round pick. So that is something to kind of be aware of as the New Orleans Saints move further in those probably trade talks, because New Orleans is desperately in need of a corner to start opposite of Marshon Lattimore. So I would very much like to see how that plays out for us. So today, with all the injury, with all the suspension news, with how the offseason has unfolded, let's discuss what is the biggest concerns moving into the preseason, or moving into preseason really. Is it the quarterback situation, replacing Drew Brees, which it's impossible to replace an NFL legend like that? Is it Jameis? Is it Taysom Hill? Will it be a combination of the both? So there's just so many question marks about the quarterback position, and it's your most important position of all of the entire playing field. So I mean, it's the only position that handles the ball each and every play. So when you have those question marks, is it the quarterback concerns that we have moving in? Is it the cornerback 2 situation that we have, the CB2 situation, opposite of Marshawn Lattimore? And with Lattimore facing a possible suspension, our number 2 corner will probably be asked to be our number 1 corner for a few games. So is it the lack of depth? I don't know if it's a depth issue, but really just a glaring hole as the loss of Janoris Jenkins as our number 2 corner. So is that our biggest concern? Is our biggest concern the wide receiver group as a whole? Obviously, we kept talking about on Saint stuff that Michael Thomas spearheads a group of unproven talent, a lot of question marks at the wide receiver, but Michael Thomas is there, so we're still going to be steady and okay. I trust Sean Payton. Now no Michael Thomas for, we don't even know for how long, really. Is it the wide receiver group that's a concern? There's a lot of free agents still out there, but it doesn't seem that New Orleans has decided to go with any. I know they just signed Chris Hogan from a longtime receiver for the Patriots. He's a little bit past his prime, but he's a kind of a good slot receiver anyway, so that'll be a little bit of help. He's kind of not really a big name, but at least he's a heard of name for some people. So is it our wide receiver? Is it our defensive line depth? We had, no Trey Hendrickson, no Sheldon Rankins coming back. Cam Jordan had a down year. We go and get the defensive tackle as our first pick. So it was that was supposed to be kind of a question mark. What's going on with that? And now no David Onyemata. So it's the lack of depth at our D-line. Is it the linebacking group? Lack of depth there. Quan Alexander just recently got healthy and had a tryout with the Saints, and we did not sign Quan Alexander. So I'm wondering, was there something in his tryouts that we didn't seem to like? Is he not fully recovered, possibly? Do we just feel that we're okay at the linebacking position? We did bring in Pete Warner from Ohio State. He's now a rookie. That will probably help with Demario Davis. So, I mean, it seems like within each group, we have one really talented, great leader at that position group. But then after that, the talent drops off. So I feel like this will be a different New Orleans Saints team. And because of that, we don't have the depth like we once did. We don't have the big names everywhere we turn to, So when we're missing stars, we're going to really hurt. And I'm wondering what our biggest concerns are. No Drew Brees, no Michael Thomas right now, possibly no Marshawn Lattimore, no David Onyemata. These are leaders at their own position group for the New Orleans Saints. So what is our biggest concern going in? For me, obviously the quarterback situation is an issue, but that's not my biggest concern. My biggest concern is now our wide receiver group and our cornerback group. There's such a lack of depth there at the wide receiver group that I'm trying to figure out what we need to do, and I really feel like the New Orleans Saints are now going to turn their attention to be more of a running game. We have great offensive linemen, we have great running backs. Alvin Kamara is still there, Latavius Murray is still there. We have great running backs, and I'm wondering if we turn our tide and turn our attention to running the ball more, using the pace of the game to slow down the opponent, allowing our defense to get a rest because we're really just running the ball down their throat. Or maybe, when I say running the ball, this could be the same kind of Drew Brees passing style with that 2-3 yard passing, run the ball for 3 yards. That just kind of quick game of little slow increments, but you get down the field and you move the ball. It works, it's proven to work, but it's not what the New Orleans Saints in years past have been accustomed to with Drew. We're used to the run the ball for 2 yards, run the ball for 5 yards, gain of 18 yards because of completion over the middle. That's just that's what Drew brought to the table. So I'm wondering what we are going to be like. Anyway, I've droned on enough. Saints fans, let me know what y'all think. What is the biggest concern that y'all have facing, that you fear going on into the next season? I've mentioned a few of them. You let me know, and I would greatly like to hear it. So in the comments below, like and share if you would. If you liked what you heard today, please subscribe if you would like to learn more about the Saints stuff and what we do here and what we talk about and analyze for the Saints. So I appreciate y'all for listening. Thank y'all, and who dat.